Sarah, how are you? Good to see you. I'm always surprised when I log on and like zero people are waiting. You would think, but I know you'll tune in. So it's hello. How are you? It's good to see you. Once again, of course, welcome to High Noon with Vermin Supreme here. That's me, Vermin Supreme. Gonna tie on the old glitter tie once again, of course. Beautiful glitter ties. Available someday soon. I am very well. Thank you, Sarah. I don't know, got plenty of sleep, a little tired, but it's okay. Got me coffee ready. Got my bud ready. Things are looking up here. Got the sun obviously shining through my glasses, casting weird shadows, so that's pretty cool, I guess. Okay, ties on, suspenders on. Got a little cool again here up in Cape Ann Peninsula. Things are freezing up again, so springtime is springing along. Hey, Jeffrey, how are you doing there? Tony Johnson, oh my goodness, Georgetown, Texas. Better get on down into your cellar hole if you have such a thing, or start digging, I guess. Or in the interior bathroom, into your tub, or in a door frame, I think is the recommendations for getting ready for that tornado that might take your roof off. Unlikely as it may be, but tornadoes are funny like that. All right, who we got here? We got Eubin. How you doing? Tip of the boot to you. Gigante Tembak Tayanek. Quite the name. It's probably something spelled backwards or something. Let's see. Red Cleon. Brandio881. Hello, how are you? And the zombie vaccine's coming soon. Well, that would sort of defeat my whole energy program. So, okay. Donkey, ready to go bananas? Blah! Too early for bananas, friend. Gigante is in Australia. Australia in the house, from our continent to yours. I mean, how do we do that so magically? Resistance is fertile. That's very true, and this is the time of year where we start to plant things, and it's a great time of year because things are coming up, and we're planting things that we'll eat later on in the year or smoke later on in the year, and stuff like that. So that's all good and groovy. Got my coffee. Oh, Jesus. So, welcome once again. It's high noon here. It's noon. My nose is looking spectacular in the sunshine, as you can see. A little frightening for me as an older person because, as you know, the human ears and human nose never stops growing. And I gotta say, it's this particular angle makes it look large. So, hey, Leanne, how you doing? Or lean, I guess. Lean spells lean. Okay, I stand corrected. If it's Leanne, let me know. Your pronunciation's not so important about your pronouns, I guess, all in all. All right, let's see. It's the dry season in Australia, and it is a pretty dry place to begin with. Hello, Vanessa45. How are ya? D. Dozier, question authority every opportunity. Sound like some sort of troublemaker, but yes, there's a great slogans that I was yelling back in the 80s. You kids. And Tony Johnson's got the watermelon cantaloupe. Sounds tasty. Tomato, carrots, and cucumbers and okra in the ground. So good luck with everybody's garden this year. Just smoking a little bit last year's crop here. Guess I'll dip into that because, as you know, oh yeah, So I don't trim it totally crazy because it's not a commercial and it's just me smoking. So there we go. Once again, of course, the old Vermin Supreme glass pipe. I guess it's old now. It's months old. Anthony Bradbury from Liquid Rainbow Glass, RAY Rainbow, liquidrainbowglass.com. And he is the artist that finally made the inevitable, the Vermin Supreme glass pipe. Now with the belly bowl and soon with the butt bowl. So you'll be able to smoke out my belly or my butt, depending on which model you choose. And all sorts of good stuff like that. So I guess I should fill my bowl and get this party started. We're 6 minutes in, and oh, it's a beautiful day. Beautiful, sunny. A little cool. That's okay. Hope it's beautiful where you are. Hope you are beautiful wherever you are. Hope you're doing beautiful things. And I will just spout some more aphorisms or anthropomorphicisms or anthropod style isms. But get this party started here. Got the, there you go. As you can see, my belly's full of weed. So let's do this thing. Oh, maybe another sip of coffee. Good combination, coffee and weed. Four thumbs up. Okay, well, I guess that's something. All right. Sarah planting a community garden. Very cool. Ella D asking about how that bike got in the tree. You may remember the iconic scene from the E.T. extraterrestrial movie, or you may not, where E.T. is his friends are trying to break his escape, and they're on bicycles, and they magically and alien technology like fly into the air, and the guys with the guns that eventually turned into radios when they remade the movie or CGI'd it or whatever. Anyway, they didn't shoot with their radios or their guns, and well, got stuck in a tree as E.T. flew over the moon. Reed, that's a very good question, and because Jesus comes back to haunt you, rolls away that stone, kicks your ass. I don't want to taunt him. Anyway, welcome once again here to, oh jeez, what's that? Funk in my face. Oh well. Well, drinking a little more coffee here, getting a little more awake by the minute, by the second. People are trickling in, time is flying, my nose is growing. Hello, it's a young conservative named Rebecca who recently joined the British version of the Libertarians, which I'm not terribly familiar with, but I imagine that they're probably, I don't even know what to think. I'll have to look that up because, of course, Libertarians means different things in different countries and different parts of the countries and to different peoples and different people at different ends of the political spectrum. So we'll see where you are, but welcome, fellow Libertarians. It's a great day to be a Libertarian, aside from some extremely controversial messaging from various state affiliates, which of course, many people consider me like Mr. Radical Crazy Person, and yet really when you get right down to it, I'm fairly pragmatic, fairly conservative compared to some of these extremist wingnuts. And so when I see some really problematic messaging, yes, okay, edgelord shit, the Arvin Vohra school of messaging, yeah, we're gonna, I don't know. I mean, if you want to be an edgelord, fine. But if you're trying to appeal to liberty-minded people without alienating them or trying to bring them over, got to be a little bit careful, a little bit mindful. But, free speech and all that fucking crap. What do I fucking care, ultimately? Oh, yeah. All right. I better cleanse my palate here. It's raining out again. Once again, of course, that was 3 spit takes in one. I hope you enjoyed that. Available with every cameo when the sun is shining. Alrighty then, let's just smoke the weed. Smoke them if you got them, before people start ranting and getting all fucking stupid. Nick Abato, loving you. It's nice to see your name. I don't think I've seen it in a while, so it's pretty groovy to see you on this YouTube. All right, it's time. It's time. Got the weed in my belly. Got the lighter, and we're gonna do it because we're for like free spirits, and you can tell I'm a free spirit because I chose that particular bic. JR Harvey 91. It's going really well. It's gonna go better in a few seconds when we get those cannabinoid receptors activated. Are you ready? That's better. Nick Gabato. It's yes, the Jockey Club was indeed a pretty crazy place in Baltimore. Of course, that was a house that I lived in with a whole bunch of other people. It was like an art weirdo house. We used to have big, crazy, scary parties with too many bands and too many big kegs of beer, and eventually got evicted and had to take it on the road. And I remember I would walk down the streets of Baltimore and look around and look up and see a sign that said for rent or something, and I would call them up and give them some line of bullshit as to how I was involved in some sort of theater group, and we needed a place to build sets for a week, and we would negotiate and rent it out and clean out the space and then have a big fucking monster party. We had them in parking garages. We had them in weird warehouses, and everything was fine until the fire marshals eventually caught wind of our operation and sort of shut us down. So let's smoke more weed, and there we go. Once again, of course, these are great pipes. They're going to be available soon. You suck through my boot. You suck through the hole on the top of my boot, just like in real life. And my feet are carburetors, the carburetor hole, just like in real life. And this is how the devil will be smoking from me in hell, I guess. Nick Abato, of course, a member of the early 80s art original independent music scene down in Baltimore, Maryland. I believe the band was called the X-Men, a tribute to the comic book heroes. I believe it was prior to the transgender movement, although I believe Nick was a little fluid, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, maybe he was just one of those punk rockers dressing up all, little femme. Nothing wrong with that. But I think that's Nick agreeing with that statement. So yes, I think a little bit of gender bending going on there. It's not a new phenomenon. It's been going on for all times. It's just marginally a little more acceptable in this day and age. Pink rock is dead. No, it just smells that way. Ha ha ha. Denmark. Hey, Agent of Sorrows. It's Denmark in the house. Trans rights, Adric. Yes, this is a trans-friendly broadcast for whatever that means. Yes, you can watch it if you're transgender. We're trans-friendly. Excellent. Excellent, Nick. I'm so glad. You should send me some. Oh, yeah, but because pink rock still goes on, Euban. Punk rock, well, of course, that just smells like it's dead. But pink rock continues. All right. Trans-Siberian Orchestra friendly, too. Yes. And fun fact, that's a prompt now that you mention it. Becky, my wife, loves the Trans-Siberian Orchestra around Christmas time, and inevitably subjects me to listening to that crazy hard rock Christmas carol music. And I tend to, it's such a parody. I mean, it's really funny. I enjoy it on one level, and on the other level, it just annoys the fuck out of me. But we actually went to see the Trans-Siberian Orchestra live once at the Boston Garden, and guilty pleasure. I enjoyed it, but I sort of hated that I was enjoying it, and enjoyed the fact that I was hating it. So yeah, I'm a little mixed. It's about the duality. I think it's probably like a lot of things where we think both ways about something, how we like it and don't like it, or we're for it and against it. And we're just trying to overcome that cognitive dissonance that is created when, one part of our mind is telling us one thing and the other part of our mind is telling us the other thing. And we're trying to square that. It's a very interesting and tricky thing that the human brain does for us. All right. Whee! Double think. One time I was hypnotized. I underwent hypnosis as a younger person. Part of my income stream was doing studies, lab rat studies, uh, taking various pharmaceuticals and getting blood drawn every 15 minutes or half an hour, or living in these dormitory type of situations. It's actually how I financed my first campaign in Baltimore, Maryland. I did a month-long drug study at one of these drug study mills in Boston, Massachusetts. Um, and this one study that I did, my favorite study, not getting too divergent here, was in Detroit at the Henry Ford Sleep Disorder Clinic, where they would pay me to go in, have a bunch of electrodes glued to my scalp, and then go to sleep, and then wake up in the morning and drink a big pitcher of screwdriver vodka and orange juice, get totally smashed, and then play these very prehistoric video game simulation things. And they paid me money for that, so that was good. And so I still have, yeah, you can see that. You can actually see the little track mark indentation because I had so many needle jabs in my arm for taking out blood for the drug studies. And that was I guess late 80s, early 90s on up. And this one study, I think this takes me back to what I was talking about, was hypnosis, because we were talking about the dual minds, because we were talking about holding contrary opinions and cognitive dissonance. So I forget the premise of the study, but I was in fact hypnotized. I volunteered to be hypnotized. And the hypnosis practitioner conducting the study, sort of just talks you into this state. And really, hypnosis is a completely voluntary process where essentially you're just agreeing to go along with the premise of the person that's presenting the premise, and that you're going to go into this trance-like state. And so you sort of talk yourself, or they guide you into this trance-like state where you are completely willing, voluntarily willing, to comply with the requests. And it was a very interesting experience because I was very much aware that I was, voluntarily, consensually agreeing to this, understanding that that was the premise, and yet going along with it. So it was like two parts of my mind working together. The one that could have totally, done the override the whole time, and the other part that was going along with it. And at one point, your arms are floating in the air, and that's an easy one because if you just like, I don't know if you've ever done that one where it's like you press you stand up in a door frame and you press the outside of your hands against the frame, sort of like this. I'll do it, and like you push out. And then when you step out of the door frame, your arms just automatically rise up. They can't help but. And so it was a easily suggestible thing. It's like, okay, your arms just sort of magically float up. And once again, it's the different parts of your brain working. The part that says lift your arms up, and the part that says don't lift your arms up. That's not, you're paying attention to it. And so The hypnotist then, tried to take me on this regression, this guided regression, and, go back to, you are now back in your first grade classroom. Now, I had no recollection of a first grade. I really don't. And I think, when it comes to school things, I have preschool memories, some, but third grade, is, because they wanted me to, picture the teacher, picture your first grade teacher, which I could not do, but I could picture my third grade teacher. So I simply changed the scenario. I explained in my trance state that I had no recollections, but instead I will switch over to my third grade classroom just to continue going along and, trying to please the hypnotist, agree with the hypnotist. And, but I knew this, and of course I was consciously aware in the superego wave that I was also complying with. And so I was sort of observing and participating at the same time, as we do in life, I guess. And the other very interesting part of being this hypnosis exercise was there was 3 boxes on the table, 3 boxes, and I knew there was 3 boxes, and the hypnotist wanted me to see, asked how many boxes there are, but then said, and I said, oh, there are 3, and then the hypnotist said, no, no, there are only 2. So in this hypnotic trance state, I wanted to comply, please the hypnotist. And I remember very clearly looking down at the table and but only looking at it with with my peripheral vision. So I saw the 3 boxes, and I scanned over till I could only see 2. And I knew in my mind, and I was well aware that this is exactly what I was doing, and yet the other part of my perception and brain did exactly that. It only saw 2. So it was a very cool exercise, and I think it really informed the way that I perceive the way we perceive. The way that I perceive the way that we perceive. I think it definitely affected that and made me aware that, it's almost like, I like to be a person who does not believe in supernatural events. I mean, I like to pretend that I'm a rationalist, and if you can't see it. But on the other hand, I don't mind playing along sometimes in different woo-woo or pseudo-religious environments, and where we like pretend that we're creating vibrations and sending our love and things like that. And of course, I have to qualify my attempt to disbelieve in these things because sometimes there's a mathematical or framework that we can put around it. So, interdimensional shit and stuff, theories that are physics and mathematics, and where you have to say, well, is that really impossible? Or are ghosts just some sort of transient interdimensional beings? And it's like, yeah, okay, science. I can get behind that. So there is that, where it's like my brain, where I like to try and pretend that I'm a rationalist and don't believe in certain things, but on the other hand, give me some rationalization why it might be real. Okay. But naturally, of course, I hear other things and and immediately shut it down and dismiss it out of hand. Anyway, let's get back to the comments here and see what we got going on here. Oh, okay, back to the Trans-Siberian Friendly Orchestra. Shit. Seb, thank you very much. Seb's hero. The word hero is used a lot, and I guess if you are someone's hero, then you're doing something right. So, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Always appreciate appreciation, and that's why I wear such a boot on my, because when my head starts getting too big, it spills over into the boot. John of Oof, hello, how are you? What happened with you? Red Cleon is wondering how to get into participating in these types of studies. Back in the day, they would advertise like in the back of weeklies, alt weeklies. Um, but let's see, I would just like search engine up the phrase human drug studies or lab rat studies or pharmaceutical studies or psychological studies. I remember back in the day because when I was doing them, it was before computers were invented. Ha ha ha. And I would go to the local campuses because they usually like to recruit from college campus kids and look for flyers. So I would find flyers. In Boston, Longwood Medical area is where a lot of hospitals are. And I would go into the hospitals. And a lot of the times, the hospitals and the institutions of higher learning would put up flyers. Now, I'm pretty sure they have databases on the internet. There are probably definitely sites, websites. I believe that I actually subscribe to one. So I think there are several places where you can subscribe, and they'll let you know about the studies coming up. And they're always studying things and paying you stuff. And yeah, like I say, when I was running for mayor of Baltimore, the first run, I spent 30 days in this dormitory setting, taking this medication and having my blood drawn. And good times. But paid $1,000, and I was able to have my original campaign material computer typeset because that is what you had to do back in those days. It was a transitional period between uh, old school typesetting and this newfangled type of thing. Then I had to have printing. I had to pay for printing out of that money because the print shops weren't everywhere just yet. It was right around that time though, and had a fourfold. I believe it was a fourfold. No, it was a trifold. The original campaign material was a trifold, and it had the phrase, "This man wants to make decisions that affect your daily life." That was my tagline. And then I had a 500 11.5 by 14-inch posters printed up, which in basic, I forget the font. I think it was Chicago. Vermin Supreme is your mayor. Demand a recount. And we showed up and rolled into Baltimore from the drug study. Me and my wife Becky and Jack and Janet and who we were traveling with at the time, and a whole handful of Baltimoreans, and hit the streets and put up these flyers and started campaigning. And I had a small bullhorn at the time, but we went to the other candidates' campaign headquarters. And this was, of course, the first time that I pioneered this technique in 1987, where I would take my campaign to the headquarters of the other candidates. And that involved going to Kurt Schmoke's campaign headquarters and his opponents. And as I was in Kurt Schmoke's campaign headquarters, went in, barnstormed him, gave him my pitch. And as I was leaving, this gentleman comes out of the campaign headquarters and starts yelling at me. And I can't quite understand what he's yelling at me, but then I come to realize that he's yelling my campaign slogans back at me. And it turned out it was Kurt Schmoke's campaign manager who invited me to his victory party that night. And so I showed up at the campaign victory party of gala, because he did in fact win, and put up my posters that said "Vermin Supreme is your mayor, demand a recount." And and I went around to every table in this huge area. It was like a very large armory, I believe it was, and went from table to table, thanking everybody for their support, thanking everybody for voting for me, and giving them my campaign pitch, and ruffled some feathers. People thought that I was, saying that Schmoke wasn't the mayor. I got up on the vote board. Somehow I put my poster up on there as the votes came in, got 0 votes. And then Kurt Schmoke himself showed up, And from across this large hall, I sort of waved and yelled, "Hey, Kurt!" And he waved back and said, "Hey, Vermin!" And so I approached him, and then this huge, group of people that was around him opened up, and I was able to walk right up to him and shake his hand and congratulate him on a well-run race, and told him that I would indeed be taking my rightful office, and but in the meantime, keep the seat warm. And so he was a very good sport about it. Yes, Baltimore, good times. And of course, that was chapter 35 from my memoir that I'm working on, Vermin Supreme, Thinking Outside the Boot, working title. And once again, it's at the 30-minute mark, so we are rocking this beautiful Saturday morning. I hope you're rocking it where you are. Let's check in with the viewers' comments. Well, shall we? Okay, let's see here. All right. You've been T-rolled. Need someone to hypnotize you and convince you that you're motivated. Yeah, there's self-hypnosis. Look it up on the internet. There is self-hypnosis, and of course, it's taking advantage of the fact that we are of two minds, and that part of your mind can talk your other part of your mind into doing stuff. Ha ha ha! All right. Let's see. Euban T. Rolled has the comment, thinking about this hypnosis story. Sounds like how hardcore statists act toward government. The more pleased government is with us, the more roads we'll have. Yes, that's true. Tony Johnson, you are right. We should be still smoking. I got a little sidetracked there. Oh, Gramps got a little detoured there on that, but not off the rails. Because that's the risk you take when you're telling such a story with so many potential little detours. But I think we wrapped that one up and brought it back to exactly where it needed to be. So that's cool. I don't want to pull that Grandpa Simpson shit too heavy, too hard. All right. Once again, everybody. Hey, it's me. It's the Vermin Pipe. Vermin Pipe. Vermin Pipe. All right. Vermin Pipe. And the funny thing is, every time I smoke from this pipe, I can feel the fire in my belly. I can feel the fire in my belly. I thought that was a good line. I thought I'd say it twice. All right. It's high noon here. Once again, bing bong, bing bong. It's high noon here on the Vermin Supreme High Noon with Vermin Supreme show. I, of course, your host, Vermin Supreme, the show where I sit in a chair, is how casual I've become about it, and talk to you, the viewers, even though there's not a lot of us, but it's okay. It's okay. Because you are the chosen ones. Once again, of course, if you are watching today's show, High Noon with Vermin Supreme, you are one of the chosen few. Because you have chosen to spend this time with me and together with each other. And so that's the beautiful thing. Not to sound too culty or you-like, but we are our own little community, and we should do good things for people. Mutual aid, now more than ever. Colorado in the house. Hello, Marks. Yeah, okay. Send the pronunciation and your pronouns in your bio. Nick Gabato, it's so good to see you. It's so fun. You know people in real life, and then you've lost contact with them, and then you joined Facebook, and then all of a sudden you reconnected, and then it's like, okay, and then it becomes sort of, they float away again, and you still feel connected, though. You still feel connected because they're friends, they're people you know, and then all of a sudden, boom, they're live and commenting. And then next thing you know, you're talking to the phone or whatever. It's all good. Life is funny. Reach out and talk to a friend. Of course, as we slowly phase out of this pandemic situation. We need to reintegrate ourselves into society, and a lot of people have, retreated from socialization, and it's that lost art of conversation and connecting with people. So let's dip our toes into that slowly. I know a lot of people, didn't miss a beat, didn't miss a beat, and either through luck or happenstance, had no ill effects, but for many of us and many of our friends, it's still strange. It's still isolating. So please check in with your friends. I know a lot of you are younger people, so for you the vaccines are way off. I just recently qualified for a vaccine, so I'll probably be signing up for it on Monday and get one eventually, hopefully in the near future, and get the party going back on and shit. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully all the mutated versions and variations and clusters and surges and resurges will peter out, and the fuck ever. Anyway, till then, um, whatever. Your free choice. Masks, washing your hands, wiping your ass, whatever. All right. Let's see. Jason Bourne, good day to you. You've been rolled Satan shoes. Take my fiat currency. I don't know if you missed my take on that particular Little Nas X thing. It was a tweet that I put out. It was a very edgy tweet. But it was self-deprecating enough. It was a little rude. I was talking about my Vermin Supreme Satan boot. I quipped that my Satan boot not only contains droplets of blood from Robert Anton Wilson, Anton LaVey, and Aleister Crowley, but gallons and gallons of cum! When I thought that up in my brain, I thought it was so funny that I wanted to put it out as a tweet, and nothing stopped me, so I did. Sometimes you do something that you know is tasteless, but you do it anyway. Much like the I beat Ruth Gatorsburg tweet that I put out there that time. It's like, you know it's tasteless, but on the other hand, well, if I can't say shit like that, who can, right? Unlike some state affiliates in the LP, who maintain they're speaking on behalf of all their constituents when they put out crazy messaging. Free speech is good. Okay. Indianapolis in the house. Quibert. Need another letter there, maybe. All right. Madeline Carson in the house. That must have been a strange conversation talking about Satan shoes at work, especially if it was in any official capacity. Hagante with Australia, mentioning the quantum double slit experiment that could blow your mind. I'm sure it could. I hope I can remember to Google that up. Let's see. Thomas Fenton, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be your president of wherever we are. President of this reality. Jason Bourne, good day to you. Dare Gamer, Choate, heart emoticon back at you. Thomas Fenton, would I pardon Joe? Of course, I would pardon most of the non-violent, non-property stealing criminals. And even then, yeah, of course. I don't know. What was he accused of? Let's see. Oh, he hired a hitman. Oh, I'll have to review the case. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to review the case on that one. I can't say blanket. I mean, I could pander. Oh, yeah, sure. But come on. I'll hire I'll have commissions, okay? I'll have commissions. I'll have lists. I'm not making anything. Ross, I'll free Ross immediately. Russ Albright. Mumia, I think he's done his time. Leonard Peltier, yeah. All the political prisoners that have been railroaded, yes, of course. And I'll look at other things on a case by case. But pure speculation. Essentially, the question is asking my opinion on various people criminals who the state has made criminals. Okay. Punk Rock Monk asking me a question. And the question is, Vermin, what is LSD like for anxiety disorders? I will say that in a therapeutic setting, once again, this is not medical advice, and I would ask somebody in the field. Personally, I don't know. I would be. I mean, I would really want it to be. You want a really solid guide with you to guide you through if you're going to work on certain things. Now, on the other hand, psychedelic mushrooms, psilocybin mushrooms, seem to have a clinical record or evidence pointing towards it rewiring the brain, if you will, and doing good things, and it have been used clinically for dealing with PTSD and that type of thing. So I guess it really depends on the level of anxiety, and because I would definitely not want if I was suffering anxiety and have in the past, for a short period of way too long period, but there was this depression, anxiety thing coupled in my brain. It was like bad brain chemicals. Took a lot to work over and through, but eventually but it was a very dark and annoying time because that time the part of my brain, once again, we're of two brains, and so at that time there was the part of my brain saying, "Come on, we gotta, get up, don't care, you don't, but the other part of the brain was, "No, it's hopeless, can't do it, don't want to get out of bed, no." I mean, and didn't even, just couldn't do it, man. But, and I would definitely not want to be on acid then. Because, and of course, you'd have to know the source of the LSD, of course. I mean, you would want it to be pure. You would not want bunk. Black market acid can be any number of things, and they can be, people passing off acid as bad chemicals, as acid, bathtub research chemicals, and claiming it's LSD. And could be laced with anything. I mean, back in my day when I was a kid, we'd buy the bad acid, and it would have a lot of strychnine in it. So that would not be a good thing for anxiety, and I can't imagine tripping and being anxious. And although one time I did do the mushrooms and was did experience sort of an anxiety thing. So there's that. So be careful, mindful. Have a good guide. Make sure it's, all those things. Not medical advice. Maybe life advice. And let's see. If you can see over my shoulder, that is my golf course. Welcome to Verm Largo. I'm going to zoom in because tee off is right about here. This is where tee off. Let's see. Over there. Let's see. You can see that golf bag, and those are the golf clubs. They're putters. It's putt. And this is the first hole. And from right where I am, this is where you would whack the ball, and you try and get it in. That's the hole right there. And let's see. And I have 18 holes in my mini putt golf course here in the woods. And once I set it up and rake it a little bit, groom the course, we'll be taking a tour through the golf course. I think one hole at a time is going to be my goal. in the coming weeks and years. I guess it'll take, I don't know, a couple months to get through it. But let's see. Hey, everybody, it's High Noon here. High Noon with Vermin Supreme. And we're almost on the 45-minute mark, so that can only mean it's time for a spit take. Whee! And once again, of course, 3 spit takes is what you will get with every cameo. When you hire me on cameo.com/Vermin Supreme, you will get 3 spit takes, and that's not all. That's not all. So just so you know. Well, this is a caveat. When it's warm enough to do it outside. When I'm in the house, I can't do it. But when I'm doing the outside cameos, 3 spit takes. There's no better bargain. David Hasselhoff, try and get him to do 3 spit takes. No, that's going to cost you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. There's a lot of celebrities, a lot of stars on the cameo. But truth be told, nobody's going to give you that many spit takes for 25 bucks. And you just got it for free. So hey, why am I giving it away? I could charge for that shit. Got some birds. Got some birds. It was a little cold, too cold last night. Past couple nights, the peeper frogs have I think they went back in the mud. It got dipped below freezing for sure. But maybe tonight I'll tune y'all into some peeper frog action. Some hot frog on frog action, if you know what I mean. All right. Blah. All right. Okay, we're rolling right along here. Gonna look at the comments. I don't know if that wasn't really dead air. It wasn't a brain fart. It was just like we were enjoying nature. Okay, because that's the thing. You know that's why this particular High Noon with Vermin Supreme is different from the Facebook lives, because in the Facebook lives, sometimes we're just like out in nature and I don't say a word. But seemingly for these Saturday High Noon shows, it's me talking nonstop. And then when I stop, I guess it gets a little quiet. So that's weird. So let's see let's see what sort of comments we got going on here, people. Colorado in the house. Mark RZ, thank you. Thomas Fenton, I can feel the fire in my belly. That is a good slogan. Any negative effects? Punk rock asked me. Yeah, I would not recommend LSD for anxiety disorders without having a serious, experienced clinical guide, ideally. LSD, I know, was used for. They did studies on it with alcoholics to try and transform. I think with the guide, yeah, sure, you might get to because essentially the anxiety disorder is bad brain chemicals. It's got that adrenaline. I think it's when you like bursts of adrenaline, the flight or fight, because you get that flight or fight instinct, and I think that manifests, especially in this day and age when you're not being chased by dinosaurs or whatever. That you get these like squirts of adrenaline, and then you get the post-adrenaline afterburn, and I remember that very clearly, and then it would manifest in sort of this. Oh, you could feel it in your knees, this sort of this weakness, this jelliness in your shoulders, and it was like, oh, and but it would rev you up. And then, of course, if you couple it with the depression, then it's like, oh, what? Because once again, the depressive phase is also just fucking bad chemicals making you feel like shit, and more likely to listen to the part of your brain that tells you you're fucking shit and fucking blah blah, and then, but for some reason that brain, that part of the brain, because let me say this, I saw this meme, I made this meme up, and it said inside each of our brains is a wolf and a pony. And the wolf is definitely a dick. And the wolf is going to try and make the pony doubt itself, make it feel worthless, make it feel like it is hopeless. But in this meme that I made up the other day, it stated that we must become and feed the pony. You must feed the pony, the badass, beautiful pony who will tell that negative wolf to fuck off. And so really, yeah, it's part of the two-part, the simultaneous brain, and not just two parts. I mean, there's lots of, the brain talking back and forth, and so it's just overriding that, and talking yourself down from anxiety. Once again, it's recognizing the triggers, and the deep breathing. But yeah, it's could be a little nutritional too. You might want to check your diet, make sure you're getting all the micronutrients that you need to keep your brain chemistry together. I mean, some very trace amounts of things, if that's lacking in your diet, can really whack out the chemistry of the brain, from what I understand. Or maybe I'm making it up, but I think it sounds real. So there is that too. So mental health is very important, and we definitely need to be understanding of those who suffer from various ailments or imbalances or chemistries or whatever. And we certainly need to be kind to ourselves if we experience any of these symptoms, and try and work through and beyond and over and around them. It's not easy though. It's very difficult, especially when you're experiencing them. It's very hard. So be kind to all of your friends who are suffering from various things. And of course, that's not the only way that people suffer. A lot of human suffering, a lot of our friends and neighbors are still having a hard go of it, and have always had a hard go of it. And, what can we do to help people's out? Starting locally and working outward, and starting with our friends and family, but trying to do what we can for the people that we love, and we love all people. So there you go. Whee! Okay. Let's see. Gonna catch up here. Tony Johnson said Vermin isn't a brain scientist. He's a rocket surgeon. That's very true. Ben Carson, now he was a brain scientist, and actually, when I asked Ben Carson if he, as a brain surgeon, would be able to develop human brains that would be unpalatable to zombies, he did not have much of an answer. Tony Johnson, the microdosing. Now that could be feasible. That's, I suppose there is that possibility. I'm not really that versed. That's something to search up on a search engine and read all about it, of course, and check out the medical studies if there are any. Sarah Brazo, trying to up your community aid abilities. Fantastic. You should check in with the Vermin Supreme Institute, verminsupremeinstitute.org. Reach out to Chris, who's working with our public works. He's, connecting, working with a couple different projects, a little amorphous at the point, some pre-existing, of like community refrigerators. There is like this small movement. It's like the free library. movement where people are setting up refrigerators in public and semi-public spaces and stocking them as best they can, and the community stocks them. And he is trying to put together also like sort of a pop-up food pantry in his freaking garage. And there are people who do that. So there's definitely a million ways to help people do a thing, help alleviate human suffering. And it's going to take those million things because there is so much of it. And yeah. Okay, let's see. I'm going to keep on going on the comments here because they are like prompts, I guess, and prompt me to say stuff. Lance Hawk says, let's make Orwell fiction again. Fiction again. Let's do it. Thomas Fenton asking, Mr. Spreem, what is your plan to stop the current pandemic? Of course, because this pandemic's been going on for over a year now. It was certainly a question during the debates, and I had the stock answers that I would make COVID against the law, that I would create COVID-free zones, that I would go back in time and kill baby COVID, and that I was going to build a microscopic antiviral, antibacterial wall around the country. And not only that, but double up with a moat filled with hand sanitizer to protect our fine nation from COVID. So those were totally my stock answers, and the real ones had to do with, getting the government out of the way. Because that's the red meat I was throwing. All right. Let's see what else we got going on here, question-wise, oh man, I gotta stretch out my neck. Okay, let's see here. Where are we? Go. Wow, I've been missing all sorts of comments. Okay. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Okay, if you're hearing this transition, you are the resistance, and we hear that all the way from Australia. Jason Bourne, I am on Verm Largo, is what we refer to my estate as, the 18-hole mini putt-putt golf course, and as stated, we'll go on a tour. But for general nature walks, definitely look for the Facebook lives, or check out the backlog of them. And I tour you around various nature spots on the Cape Ann Peninsula. Let's see if I can get through these things. The Last Outlaw is asking, am I running for the Libertarian nomination again? I believe I would be foolish not to. I believe that the last effort at seeking the nomination of the Libertarian Party clearly demonstrated that there is a base within the Libertarian Party that supports my messaging capabilities and direction, and ultimately 20% of the delegates, over 20%, agreed with the basic premise that my candidacy and my nomination was a desirable way to propel the party forward. And so I believe that that is my core constituency within the Libertarian Party, and I want to represent that core constituency to the best of my ability. That being said, of course, I will be don't want to tip my boot too early. I don't want to start running too early. I don't want to start campaigning too early. I want to take a little time off to spend with my family with no scandals. So there is that. And so more than likely, it was certainly a trade-off. I had to trade certain things away to do so. Most notably, not running on the New Hampshire primary ballot as one of the duopoly candidates just to fuck with their ballot. Wasn't able to do that because the Libertarian Party would have frowned upon that. And of course, my messaging, and I tacked a little right, of course, for that exercise, and may do so again. We'll see how it plays out. It will depend, what kind of level I'll be playing the game. But yeah, we raised like what, 80 grand, and once again, constituents, supporters of mine who shared the vision of me being the nominee. I mean, hundreds of people donated cash money in order to propel my candidacy, to travel me around the country, and all of these other expenses, legitimate campaign expenses for sure. So that's a very attractive thing, of course. Even if I don't, well, I'll, yeah, I'll be running for libertarian. Okay. Anyway, we are coming up on the hour. I think we've just broke the hour mark. So I am going to get back to my Saturday afternoon here in the scenic Cape Ann. Going to go microwave up my coffee. We'll have a few more puffs before I turn off. And I guess I should really scan the, don't want to miss any important chats here. So I'm just gonna skip on through. Hello, it's my meh Cactus Burger from Pennsylvania. Howdy, howdy. Yes. All right. That's true, Heather B. Peyote journey, or the ayahuasca, or the ibogaine. Different psychedelic experiences that can be used to reset, a good chunk of your brain. Not like brainwashing you. I mean, no, it just changes the way your perspective. God, hello, God, how are you doing? Thanks for tuning in today. I know you're everywhere, but all at once, and I'm glad that you're here today, tuning in. Seamus, the caveat is definitely a good call. Wouldn't want a spit take to turn into a small snow. Okay. Heather B, love where I live loves you also. Absolutely. The crows. Yep, that was a nice little segment we did, just listening to the birds. Reed asking me about the human blood in my boot sole. Oh, as I did, you see the tweet? It was a pretty controversial tweet. It got more traction on Facebook, quite frankly, but it said in Vermin Supreme's Satan boot contains not only droplets of blood from Anton LaVey, Robert Anton Wilson, and Aleister Crowley, but also contains gallons and gallons of cum. It was too funny not to put out there. I was laughing out loud, and when I think up something that makes me laugh that hard, I couldn't not share that, even though once again I knew it was a little controversial, much like I beat Ruth Bader Ginsburg tweet I did there. I knew it was gonna upset people, and I got that is messaging. I mean, but if you're gonna edgelord, I like to do it. In a self-deprecating fashion, I guess, and all of those things. So, anyway, we won't talk too much about LP messaging because the hour's up and I gotta go. Let's see, did I miss any other birds are fake? True, birds aren't real. May 4th, we're gonna do a special bird event with the Birds Aren't Real folks. It's gonna be very exciting. Squirrels are now the surveillance because we're onto the birds. Very good point, Euban. Scooter, the boot is totally attached to my head with Gorilla Glue. It's never going to fall off my head. All right. Oh, yes, Sarah. Oh, that's the anxiety depression, the coupling of the two. Oh, and that's the other part is that because like part of your brain says, oh, I should get out of bed. And the other part of your brain doesn't even say, it's just not. It can't even say anything in response. And then you start feeling anxious because of it. Oh, I feel so bad. Oh God, now I'm experiencing anxiety because I can't get up. That sucks. But ultimately, I was able to decouple it under, the understanding that they were just bad chemicals, and I don't know. I was lucky. I was very lucky. Yeah. And of course, the thing about the depression chemicals, the chemicals that allow you to listen to the shithead part of your brain, the negative Nelly Wolf there, it's just like, okay. Oh, because once you're feeling that way, once I realized this, it's because when you're feeling that way with the depression chemicals, like just totally flowing, you start to think, the other part of your brain starts to wonder, well, it's still marginally capable of, it's like, why do I feel so bad? Why am I feeling so bad? And then all of a sudden you start going through the checklist. It's like, oh, it's because of my job, my career, it's not where it wants to be. Oh, it's because of my relationship, because it's not this, it's not that. Oh, it's because of something that happened in the past, or it's because I'm no good, because I'm not where I want to be in my trajectory in life. And there's just like a whole bunch of things that you go down the negative checklist, and then you choose one. And then you start saying, oh, I feel bad. But then you know why you feel bad. Why do I feel bad? Because of this. And then, oh, I feel bad because of this. And it's this negative feedback loop. And then it's like, oh, I need to overcome this negativity. And then, but you can't. And then the anxiety kicks in. Yeah, it's miserable. It's really one of the worst times in my life. And, very difficult on the marriage. So yes, but keep the faith for sure. And there's definitely help out there and opportunities to figure shit out. So let's see. Is it possible for me to get ahead of these comments to get out of this show? Defra, am I currently running for president? Good question. No, I am currently president. Thank you for asking. Christian Bradley Hobbs on Facebook. We have the hashtag Liberty, hashtag Pony Caucus. Hashtag caucus, maybe. Liberty Pony, okay. Thank you, Madeline Carson. Good to see you. Radic, tip of the boot to your frog avatar, I guess. Heather B. True. It always hurt. It always hurt. It always hurts to ask. Remember, it always hurts to ask. Tony Johnson, have a good day from Texas. Free ponies, of course. Oh, I'm all the way down. Um, Alrighty then. Caught up. Euban, this is a good way to sign off, I guess. It's a quote from Hunter S. Thompson. Sleep late, have fun, get wild, drink whiskey, and drive fast on empty streets with nothing in mind but falling in love and not getting arrested. Right on. That's a good quote to wrap things up on. Of course, if you need a cameo, verminsupreme.com slash cameo.com/verminsupreme. The opposite would probably work too, though. Patreon.com/verminsupreme. We had a really nice patron meeting last night. Got to do some exclusive archival sharing with the people there. That was a lot of fun. VerminSupremeInstitute.com. Sign up as volunteer or give us money or whatever. Send us wishes. Vote for Rob Patillo's Hot Dog and Applesauce as Comedy Song of the Year. That's out there. I think that's on my Twitter. April 19th is the anniversary of when I had my kidney surgery and gave up a kidney to my mother, who now deceased, God rest her soul, but it's an annual event where I try and guilt trip you into giving up a kidney because I have moral superiority to you because I gave up a kidney. And of course, those of you who remember my viral video with the back in 2012, I did show my kidney scar, and my mother was in the audience. It was a very beautiful moment. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to sign off. Way into overtime. Don't like to go this long, but that's okay. Loving you. Check out our mutual aid tree to check out for mutual aid projects in your neighborhood. If you have mutual aid projects, send them our way. And keep on keeping on, keep on being free, liberty, blah, blah, blah. And take care of yourself, take care of your kin, check in with your people, check in with yourself. And we'll see you later. Have a beautiful weekend.